Welcome to TR Tutorials. In this particular session, we shall be looking at some of the questions, some of the BECE questions in the year 2024. Starting with objective, we have the question 1 which says, generate different history books, totaling 56, 458, 721, 602 pages. Write the number of pages in words. This is quite simple. So we have history, 56 billion, 158,721,602, which happens to be option C, and that is it. Question 2 says, the diagram below shows similar triangles. Triangle PQC and triangle ABC meet at C. Find line QC. This happens to be line QC. Now, speaking about similar triangles, all we need to do is we just have to take the ratio of one triangle to the other. We need to compare one triangle to the other. Now, solving this, all we need to do is question 2. We need to compare line QC, which is the line that we're looking for. We compare it to line BC. And this is the way we compare line PC to line AC. Now, putting the parameters that are given, QC is what we're looking for. So let us call QC X. We have X to the line BC. Line BC happens to be 10 meters. Equals line PC happens to be 12 meters. And line AC happens to be 8 meters. From here, we cross multiply. We have X equals 12 times 10 all over 8. And that gives me 120 over 8, which is 15 meters. And that is option B, 15 meters. Now, question 3 says, Bookie's Stop Shop wall is rectangular with a length of 2b plus 1 centimeter and has a breadth b centimeter. Find the perimeter of the rectangular wall. Now, we know that the perimeter of the rectangle is given us 2 length plus breadth. And from the question, length is given us 2b plus 1 centimeter. Likewise, the breadth is given us b centimeter. By the time we substitute these values into the formula, we have P is equal to 2 into bracket 2b plus 1 plus b centimeter, and that is P equals 2. Therefore, we have 3b plus 1 centimeter, and P equals, expanding the bracket, that gives us 6b plus 2 centimeter, and that is option B. Now, question 4 says, the product of two numbers is 7.5, and one of the numbers is 2 over 3. Find the other number. The product of two numbers. What are the two numbers? We don't know. So we say let the numbers be M and N. So the products, their product, which is M times N, happens to be 7.5. If one of the number is 2 over 3, let's say M is equal to 2 over 3. Find the other number, which is N. All we need to do is just substitute. M is 2 over 3, so we have 2 over 3 times N equals 7.5. Now, since we're working with a fraction, our advice, we also change the 7.5 to a fraction in order to make it easier for us to calculate. Therefore, we have 2n over 3 equals 75 over 10. From this point, we can cross multiply, and that's going to give us 2n equals 75 times 3 all over 10. Now we can simply divide. We have 5 in 10, 2, and 5 in 75. That should give us 15. Therefore, we have 2n equals 15 times 3, that's 45 over 2. We still have to divide both sides by 2, which happens to be n equals 45 over 2 times 2. So we have n to be 45 over 4. And dividing 45 by 4, That is going to give us in decimal number 4 in 45, that's 11 whole number 1 over 4. And that happens to be 1 over 4 is given as 0.25. So we have 11.25. And that's option C. Question 5. Y varies inversely as the square of x, and y equals 4 when x equals 8. Calculate the value of y when x equals 4 over 5. This is inverse variation. So we have question 5. Y varies inversely as the square of x. That's x squared. And y equals 4 when x is equal to 8. These two parameters that we are given, and y equals 4 when x is equal to 8. It is for us to get the constant, to get the relationship between y and x. So what we need to do is y equals, we introduce a constant k over x squared. And when you cross multiply, k is equal to x squared y. Now all we need to do is just input the values that were given so that we can get the constant k. K equals, we have x to be 8. So we have 8 squared times, and we have y to be 4. And that gives us k equals 64 times 4, and k is equal to 256. That is a proportionality constant. Now, we will now write the equation that is connecting x and y by substituting this k back into the equation. So we have k to be x squared y, therefore we are going to have y is equal to 256 over x squared. We can decide to use this, or we can decide to use the other one. So we have x squared y equals 256. Whichever one you want to go for, then there's no problem. Now the question now says calculate the value of y when x is equal to 4 over 5. So we are looking for y when x is equal to 4 over 5. As such, I'll be making use of the first one. Why? Because we are looking for y. There's no need for me to make y the subject of formula. All I need to do is just put in the values that I am given, and we're going to get our value for y. So y equals 256 over x is given to be 4 over 5. So 4 over 5 all squared. 4 over 5 all squared. And as such, what do we do from here? Y equals, I'll advise when you have such divisions, or when you have fractions dividing each other, it is advisable that you write it side by side so that you don't end up mixing them up. It is better this way. Y equals 256 divided by, when you take the square of 4 over 5, you have 16 over 25. Therefore, as we all know, dividing fraction, it changes to multiplication, and you invert the fraction, it becomes 16 over 25. Now let's divide. Y equals 16 here 1. 16 into 156, that should be 16. Therefore, we have 16 times 25, and 16 times 25 is going to give you 400. Therefore, the value of y when x is equal to 4 over 5 is 400. As you can see, we do not have 400 in our option, which means that the options might be wrong. So do not be surprised when you see certain questions having different, not having the answers there. It happens like that sometimes. Now, question 6. Question 6 says, in the triangular scarf shown below, what is cos theta? Cos phi, yes, cos phi. This is not theta, this is a phi sign symbol. Cos phi, as we all know from the concept of SOHCAHTOA under trigonometry, we are looking for cos, and cosine simply speaks about adjacent over hypotenuse. So what do we have there? Cosine, the value that we have for the adjacent, this is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse, the longest side. Therefore, when you substitute, adjacent is 12 centimeters, and hypotenuse is 13 centimeters. So cos phi is 12 over 13, and that's option B. Question 7. Question 7, it says, if x varies y squared and x equals 5 and y equals 2, the equation connecting x and y is given us. The only thing that we need to do here is to find the proportion, the constant, just the way we have done in question 5. So what we need to do is, given that x varies y squared, all we need to do is change this sign of variation equals, then you introduce a constant k, ky squared. Now we are looking for k, therefore k is equal to x over y squared. And what do we do from here? We're given the values. What is x? X is giving us 5 all over, and y is giving us 2. So 2 squared, and that gives me 5 over 4, and that is one whole number, 1 over 4, which is k equals 1.25. Now, what do? We introduce it back. We bring it back to the equation in order to establish the relationship. Therefore, x is equal to, k is given us 1.25 y squared, and this is the equation connecting x and y, and that goes for option D.